In the offseason, actually get a full offseason, what it's been like so far?
Yeah, it's always nice when you get a full off season with a guy. So because you can, you got a guy like we got Trey week 1 last year. You kind of playing a little catch up. Sorry, but it's nice being able to start with a foundation and kind of learn it as you go. It's no different than jumping into a math class after you move midway through the year. It's nice to teach it from the grassroots so he can hear the origins of everything.
What did you know about him before he was added to the team?
Obviously, high draft pick. Everyone raved about his work ethic, and I couldn't agree more with that. He comes to work with the right mindset.
Yo, what's going on, Cowboys fans? It's your boy, Foster King. As always, thank you all for liking, sharing, and subscribing. I am going to keep bringing you guys content like this. Make sure you guys are hitting the like button. We got a cool one today. That was Scott Tolzien, Cowboys quarterbacks coach, talking about Trey Lance. And I really had to go through this video and through his film and through really the player with a fine-tooth comb. Now, I remember watching him in that 2021 draft. Obviously, Zach Wilson, Trevor Lawrence, who hasn't really been what people may have thought he would be. Just kind of like a historically bad quarterback draft. Even Mac Jones, who, fun fact, the 49ers won it. They were all in that draft. But when we talk about Trey Lance, here's a guy who came from North Dakota State, the COVID year, the whole nine, had 48 touchdowns, 1 interception. True athlete. And I think that's what Cowboys fans are going to notice in preseason, in training camp. You guys are going to see an athletic guy with a big arm. But let's really get into his timeline. Let's really do a deep dive. So, drafted in 2021, like I said, 3rd overall. Fractured his hand in that preseason. So that was like kind of like the start of, I wouldn't say the end, but I mean, I guess you could say the end in San Francisco. He was a starter heading into the 2022 camp. So like he had earned a job, and we got to remember, he was taking over pretty much a Super Bowl type roster. Like he took over a Super Bowl type roster for Jimmy G. They wanted him to be the guy. Shanahan wanted an athletic guy, a Josh Allen type of an athlete type quarterback. And so this is very important to keep in mind. Even when you think about how he called plays for Trey Lance, it's very important to keep in mind. He played decent versus the Bears in a bad weather game. So like his first real start, he did have a start his rookie year, but he just wasn't ready. Then his first real start for the Bears, he did not play bad football. Didn't play great football, but he didn't play bad football. The week later, he gets hurt. September 18th, he breaks his ankle. So there's just a lot of misfortune. 2022, he misses the whole season. Brock Purdy comes in. The rest is history. Actually, a lot of people think that Brock Purdy just came in, but actually what ended up happening was they went back to Jimmy G. Then Jimmy G gets hurt. Then Brock Purdy comes in. He plays well, never gives the job back, and he's traded to the Cowboys for a 4th-round pick. I say all that to say, Kyle Shanahan, as smart as he is, admitted that Trey kept getting hurt at the wrong times, and he just wasn't ready, and he was young, and his football mind was young. In football years, he was very, very young. However, I do believe that Kyle had it wrong as far as the scheme and how he brought Trey along, and he's admitted that. And he's also admitted that Trey is a fine young man. He's a good man. He's a hard-working guy, as Scott Tolzien said. So what can be made of Trey Lance and what is left of Trey Lance? When I watched this film, I saw some good, I saw some bad, but I do see an NFL quarterback who was able to sit for a year behind Dak Prescott, and I believe that him just sitting for that year coming into this situation, we got to remember, situations make players. Jalen Hurts, his 2nd year, being a quarterback behind that offensive line, made him a good player to me. Dak Prescott, 2016, behind an all-pro offensive line, made him a great player. Now, Dak is who he is today because he put the work in, but it made him a good player. When I'm watching Trey Lance in the preseason and I'm watching this film and we're about to talk about it, the offensive line just wasn't good. Like, they didn't give him any time. He's playing with backups, and he did not hit in San Francisco. So I'm not making excuses for him. But if nothing else, I try to get down to the bottom just to see, is there an NFL player left in that body? And I believe that there is. So as I get started on this film breakdown, I just want to say this. It is very, very hard to evaluate players, especially quarterback play, with bad O-linemen, man. Like, and one of the things about the Cowboys that I will say that Trey Lance has in his favor, yes, he'll be meeting Jalen Brooks. Well, I'm sure he actually worked with Jalen Brooks a lot, being, the number 3 last year and just getting reps in with those guys. And I'm sure he'll get a lot of reps in with Tolbert in the preseason. But I got to say this. Being able to have Cooper Beebe, Tyler Guyton, and all those guys out there, even Nate Thomas, all those guys out there during the preseason while he's going through live bullets, it makes the world of difference because as I run these plays, guys, some of this stuff is just bad. And you couldn't really get a gauge. Like here, pocket collapses, he feels pressure, and he does make a bad throw. Now, he could have stuck in there and made this throw, but it's when you're playing with backups, you only have so many reps. At this point, Purdy had went through the season that he had last year. So you got to just think Trey and his confidence just wasn't great. Look at this. Free runner, Adam. But this is some of the things that I say, okay, he has that athleticism. Now, this is just awful Canadian League football. And no knock to the Canadian League, but, I mean, he calls it out. So he calls out the pressure, IDs the front, boom, left guard just lets the guy come free. But Trey does have the footwork and the athleticism to at least avoid the sack. So that's some of the stuff that you do see in his game. Very next play, right guard gets beat, and it's a hold. And so you just can't evaluate the player as you would want to, but you do see some positive traits. One of the things that I did notice, and some people may not pay attention to things like this, but I do. One of the things that I did notice was like, hey, man, he stayed positive throughout it all. Like, there's a guy who got demoted. He runs right off to the sideline. He wasn't happy about it. And he's getting killed out there. Now, here's what I mean by the NFL arm. And some people say, Foots, that's just a 5-and-out. Yes. But let's look at the velocity of it. Like, let me just go back to this throw real quick. And we got to remember, if something were to happen to Dak, ball out, boom. I just love how quick the ball gets out, on that tight end. McCarthy runs a lot of quick game. Ball out, tight end's able to catch the ball, get upfield. And for that's just a basic throw. It is. We're not going to act like that's a $1 million throw. But here's some of the things that he can do athletically. Is this the rep? Yep. Boom. Feel pressure again. Step up, run, and just, make a little cool, little groovy play. So he has, like, the athletic part of his game is really, really intriguing and really, really interesting. Also, if you guys notice, man, like his build, like he's 6'4" in the stat sheet. He's a true 6'4". Boom, get out of there. Okay? Make the play. Could have ran, wanted to throw it, and I'm not mad at it. Okay? Now, this is bad, Trey. Can't do this. Absolutely, positively can't do this. And I think that he trusted his arm and the ball came out a little bit goofy. So like I said, there's some bad in there. You can't come to the middle of the field late. Obviously, it ended up being a touchdown, but, like, this shouldn't have been a touchdown. This should have been an interception, and he's playing against backups. But, like, in the league, a safety's picking this off. Like, you can't come to the middle of the field late. He knows that. He probably goes to the sideline. Hey, this wasn't the best throw. And I think this angle will really show the best. Now, the thing is, I love his footwork in this back-to-the-basket play action. Boom, quick footwork. Boom, get out. Reset. But the throw. Okay, you cannot. Rule number 1, can't come to the middle of the field late. All right, here we go again. I like this play because as the pocket is breaking down again, again, what did I say when I started this film session? He literally can't step up into the pocket. He can't step through the pocket because the O-line is so bad. So, again, look at it. Hold on, guys, seriously, look at the right guard. Like, I feel bad for Trey. Watch 92. We need to figure out who 92 is. He just walks him back into Trey. But Trey has the balance, the strength, stay on his feet, dot. Like, that's a rocket. Ball out, dot. Okay? Obviously, it's preseason, so, we won't go crazy. But, I stuff like that is encouraging. Whole shot. Okay, so we saw the interception, but like this is NFL stuff. Okay? That was an NFL throw. I'm going to go back to that whole shot real quick. Now, you can't do that, Trey. But like right here, let's look at it. Out of gun. 1, 2, 3. Step up. Whole shot. Okay? Second level throw. It's like an inverted snag situation. That's more like a levels concept. Boom. Inbreaker, dig, boom, put it on him. Right on the Raiders logo. Love it. Like, that's what Trey can do, and the ball is out, and it's on fire. And that's what he's going to have to do in preseason. Put the ball on him, Trey. Now, this is where he gets fooled. He doesn't see the hook player. All right? So they're already in 2, so this is like a drop 8 feel. Actually, it's more like a Tampa 2 type robber deal. All right? You got a hard deck corner. On top, you got 2 safeties, so middle of the field is open. He sees those 2 safeties. It's the oldest trick in the book. Middle of the field is open. Okay? But now that backer is robbing you. That backer and both backers are robbing you. Actually, they're all so right now, okay, you can't throw that ball there, Trey. And this was right before the half, but you still can't throw that ball there. But then he comes right back, and this is one of my favorite reps of it all. He comes right back, and again, another hole shot. Shoo! Like, that's a missile. That's a ball, guys. I want you guys to see this here. Again. Boom. Looks like somebody was offsides, but just look at the velocity. Ball out. Put it on him. Put it on him. So I think that, in conclusion, I won't sit here and act like Trey Lance is, he's going to be fixed and he's going to be the quarterback of the future. But I do see NFL traits, and there's a reason why Jerry Jones, Mike McCarthy, Will McClay, and Stephen Jones signed off on Trey Lance. It's your boy Foots, man. As always, thank you guys for liking, sharing, subscribing. More content like this coming your way. Please, please, please share. Please, please, please like